Hey, Very Intentional Fam, and if you're new here, my name is Aaliyah. I am the Very Intentional Mama who is healing intentionally and taking you on my journey so that you can know that your story matters, your healing is possible, and you're exactly where you need to be. Our special guest that we are hearing share her story went through a very vulnerable time where she wanted to bottle up everything and hold it in and not tell anyone what she was going through. But I want you to continue watching to see the amazing transformation that happened when she finally opened up her mouth. So, thank you so much, Rishera, for joining us today. I would love for you to tell us, what kind of mama are you? Who are you?
All right. Thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited to be here. And to answer your question, what kind of mama am I? That is going to start a very interesting conversation. But to me, I am a angel mama.
Mhm.
I lost my baby last year, November of last year, and I was so ready to be a mom. Like it's all I've ever wanted. And after my diagnosis, after I was diagnosed in 2017, the phrase of "you're probably not going to be a mom" really stuck with me for years.
I had to interrupt this message because you were told that what happens in this house stays in this house. And so now you're going through emotions and bottling them up because nobody is supposed to know what's going on in your home. Granted, you may have always heard growing up to not let anyone know what was going on in your home, but you also heard that closed mouths don't get fed. If you are ready to come out of traditions that raised you to not ask for help and to finally experience what it's like to have people who truly love you, support you, and pour into you, then go ahead and register for the Healing Takes a Village Summit.
Once I found out I was pregnant last year, it was like everything to me. And then just having that, like, I'm gonna be this type of mom, I'm gonna we're gonna do this and this together. And I was just like so like happy and so blessed. And then when we lost our baby, it was just like, am I even considered a mom now? So me advocating and sharing my story is just like I may not have physical children here, but I do have a child and I am an angel mama and I still talk to my angel baby as if he was right here sitting on my lap. And I just pray that one day, if it's meant for me, God will send his sibling down and, be like a part of him here on the earth side. So I am an angel mama.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that. And we're going to dive a little bit more into it, but I did want to talk about what is your diagnosis and what does it look like?
Yeah, so my diagnosis is PCOS. Many women have been hearing a lot about it these days because a lot of women have been diagnosed with it a lot recently. And that looks like for me, um, may look different from another woman, but me particularly, it looks like hirsutism is a physical symptom, and it is basically facial hair. Like, so how men will grow beards,
Yeah.
hirsutism is the equivalent of a woman growing beard. So we'll get like hair, like all hair here. Some women have it very thick, some women don't have it at all. Some women will have like patches, like mine, it could vary. Like, it could be like a little thick, but you're like not too thick, but you can see it, and it drives me insane. And then also the miss periods for like months at a time, sometimes years. Weight gain, diabetes, pre-diabetes. I'm right now in the pre-diabetic range, and I'm hoping to, with my lifestyle changes, get out of that. I'm really, really trying. So yeah, so mines look like hirsutism, weight gain, miss cycles, and I'm in the pre-diabetic range. I have lots of inflammation in my body that I'm trying to get rid of. So that's what I deal with.
Okay, so, like, how did you know that you needed to get checked for it, or was it like, you went to the doctor one day and they was like, "Hey, you have this."
Oh my. Okay, so it was 2017, January of 2017 to be exact. And my mom was like, "Okay, you need to make like your big girl doctor's appointment." And I was like, "Okay, how do I do that?" So she was like, "Okay, I'll make it for you, but like you have to go and like do this yourself." And I
Mhm,
was like, "Okay." So she like made the appointment for me. Like I went and everything, and the doctor, the GYN was just like asking me questions. And even though I had like, I'm that type of person that would go to the doctors or go to a meeting with like questions and everything and notes in hand. But I just wanted to like fill her out and see, what was she about? And she was like asking me questions. I'm just like, these sounds like questions I want to ask her. And she had asked me like, when was your last cycle? And I was like, mm, last year? And she's just like, "Yeah, last year, because it's January, so last year when?"
so
And
she
I'm just like,
so
"Yeah," and I'm just like, "Oh, last March." And she just, like, stops, and she was like, "Well, you haven't had one this month?" And I was like, "Oh, no, I haven't had one since last March." And
Mm,
I was like, "2016 March." And she was like, "It's January 2017." I said, "Yes, ma'am. Like, I know this is one of the questions I had for you. Like, I need to know what is happening." And
mhm,
that opened up a whole like new world to me. She was like, "Okay, I'm gonna have to run this test and do this." And she was like, "Okay, we're gonna have to take images and I have to go to another place to get certain images and certain testing done. And then I have to go back. It didn't take that long. I have to go back a couple days later. And she told me, she was like, "Yeah, I had an idea of what I thought it would be, but you have what we call PCOS." And she explained it to me and she showed me pictures of my ovaries and I have cysts on my ovaries. And she was like, "This is why you're not having a cycle because like these things are like blocking you and all these different terminologies." And I'm just like, okay.
mm.
So yeah, it was like really hard to navigate that. And then her telling me like the risk um of being diabetic, not being able to have children. She talked about cervical cancer, ovarian cancer. It was just like a lot. And she was just like, we have to like start working on this. Because she's like, you're still young, but we still want to like navigate these things now, like get like a game plan going. So it was a lot to digest.
I bet, like, you sit there and you're like, "Yeah, this has just been my life,"
Yeah.
and now all of a sudden it's like, "Nah, baby, we gotta put you through some tests."
Yes.
Wow. Okay, yeah, because I always wondered, like what made PCOS, make you not have children.
Mhm.
And so to know that it could be because of like the cyst and things that are around your ovaries, that
Mhm.
explains it. But we see how God did a thing.
Yeah.
You still were able to experience pregnancy.
Yeah.
So like what was that like?
So it's not funny, but like to me it's funny. um I like to be positive about a lot of things. Well about everything. So last year I only had one period
Mhm.
and I was like feeling sick like all of September. Like all of September, I just felt sick. And then it came into October, and I'm just like, I feel like still feel wonky. But I was like, I don't know, maybe like I'm getting flu. Like I don't know. I was just like, the season's changing. Like I'm just making up excuses because in my mind, I'm not pregnant. And then I kid you not, I had a dream, and I've always prayed to God that if I were to get pregnant, please I like to remember. I remember my dreams a lot, so I was like, "Please put it in a dream." And I had a dream that I was pregnant, and that next minute you knew, like, I was holding my baby, and I saw the baby so vividly, and it was me. I was like, "I'm not dreaming about somebody else, like, this is me." And I went to work that next day, and it just stuck in my mind, and I was just like, "Okay, God, like, why I can't shake this dream off?" Like, I just couldn't, like, shake it off, like, it just stuck with me all day. So, I got home, and I'm like, "This cannot be happening," because I was like, "I haven't had a period since early in the year." Um, it is October, like, it's no way. So, I took a pregnancy test. I'm, like, scrambling. I was like, "I know I got one here somewhere, like, I know it." And I find one, and I take it, and it immediately 2 lines, immediately. And I was, like, taking them back, so I was like, "That's never happened before."
Mhm.
Uh Normally, when I have taken it in the past, it'll take forever to see the line and but it happens so fast. So now I'm like flustered because I'm just like, am I reading this right? So like I run out of the bathroom and my husband has no idea what I just did. So I am just like running out the bathroom. I said, look, look. And he's just like, what is this? And I was like, just look. And he was like, no way. And I was like, yes. And he's like, is this yours? I'm like, it's only you two, you and I in the house. Like, who do you think? And I was like, yes, yes. And we're just like, oh my God, oh my God. So he's like, do you have another one? I was like, no. So he's like, get in a car. We have to get another one. So like we rush out, we go get another, come back to the house, and I'm taking them. And they're all coming back positive, like super fast. I've never seen a test come so fast. And we were just like shocked. So we just like took it all in. And I told him, I was like, okay, like I'll call the doctor in the morning, see if I can get an appointment. Cause I couldn't tell like how far I was, or I know they want to see you after 8 weeks, but I didn't know anything. And since they know of my diagnosis, like they were able to get me in sooner. And we went in like the week after we found out, and they was like, yeah, you are pregnant. And it was like, you've been pregnant for a while. And I was like, huh? And it was like, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I was just like, oh. And I was like, oh my God. And then I'm thinking in my head, well, did I have too many cups of wine the last couple months? Like, was I okay? Like, and so now I'm thinking, like, okay. And it was like, no, like you're healthy. This baby is healthy. And I was okay. So there was like, well, we do have some concerns since it's still early, but you are like pretty far along and we just want to monitor you. So I was like, okay. So I had to go back and forth to the doctors every 2 weeks, all of October, like, and then in November, and then late November, the week of Thanksgiving, we had went to the doctor and they said the baby had stopped growing. And they said it was nothing that I did.
Oh,
They said it was nothing, PCOS related. But there was like the baby just stopped growing. And we were just like, "Whoa, what happens next?" And it was like, "Unfortunately, you're going to miscarry." And that was just like oh no, we had 2 months of just bliss and then boom.
yeah.
Um, so it was really hard and they wanted to give me medication to start the process. But the medication never got filled. So I was just like, well, what's gonna happen? I was just like praying, but still like treating my body because I was still pregnant. So I'm like, I want to treat my body because maybe, miracle is gonna happen. And I just continued my day as a pregnant woman carrying her child. And I will never forget that Friday I started bleeding and I was like, okay, this is happening. And yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's I know that has to be like really tough.
Yeah.
And so just thinking and like listening through your story, where would you say that healing takes a village comes into your story?
My gosh. I I didn't want to share that I was pregnant,
Mhm.
but I'm glad I said I was pregnant because it took a lot.
Yeah.
Like, especially around the holidays, like, I'm supposed to be pregnant, and I'm literally losing my baby during Thanksgiving. Like, everybody's, like, with their families, I'm just like, "No, like, I don't wanna go, I just wanna stay home because 'cause I'm literally losing my child." Um, it was rough. It was rough, but I'm happy, like I said, I'm happy I told, my family.
Mhm.
My husband was, of course, very supportive of one another, and it was just, yeah, like we had a couple coworkers come over and just give us food or just sit with us and just talk to us and take our mind off of things. But they also asked us how we were doing.
Yeah.
They was like, we may not have the right words, but if we can just listen to you, express how you feel, then that's what we would do. So that was very meaningful, especially to me because you'll hear, oh, maybe it's not your time to have a child, or maybe it was for the best. I don't know why. Um, but I have my thoughts of why, but you don't wanna hear that while you're going through it. You're just like, "That you coulda just said nothing."
Bogus.
Yeah,
Like,
just gave you should've just gave me a hug and just sat down, like,
this
at
is
that
not
point.
the time to hear
Just
it's gonna be
yeah.
okay because it don't feel
Ah,
like
right. So just hearing them say, "Just talk and we'll listen," was very meaningful because it's like I just talked and I listened. And I have a few family members here where I live, but a lot of my family is back home. But just their prayers, them constantly checking in and just doing what they can really meant a lot. Um, and I'm happy that I didn't keep it a secret from them. Like I always said, if I ever get pregnant, I'm gonna keep it a secret. And then, but like, I was just yes, I'm just happy. Like I shared with them, and yeah, they showed up and they helped me, and um, even the doctors, that community helped me as well, helped us, gave us resources. We spoke with a grief counselor. We had couples therapy where they brought us in together to talk about loss and how to grieve through it. And then we did our individual therapy sessions. And then we, of course, talked with each other, prayed with each other. And yeah.
I think that's beautiful because I know oftentimes when things happen to kids and mom and dad are together, it takes a real toll. And so
Mhm.
knowing that y'all did have counseling to help y'all through it so that y'all wouldn't take it out on one another, but
Right.
it like understand like things are happening to both of us through this.
Mhm.
So I
Yes.
truly believe that's a beautiful thing and that you did share because I'm right there with you. I'm the type of person, I'm like, nope, I'm not saying nothing.
Right.
We're almost there. So that I definitely know that was nothing but God
Yeah.
ordained it so that you wouldn't have to go through this season alone. So I have one final question for you before we wrap up our time together, and it's what do you want moms who don't feel like they are a mom because they've lost their babies to know?
Oh, you are always a mom. You will always be a mom. Celebrate. Celebrate your baby. Whether you made it to the stage of knowing the gender of your baby, or if you only made it to 7 weeks or however many weeks, you were still pregnant, you still had a baby, and you're a mama. And I knew that um, I was going to give birth in July. So in July of this year, I got me a little cupcake and I just said, I don't know when your birthday was going to be, but happy birthday. And it was just like, yeah. And then in a couple weeks, in October in a couple of weeks will be a year that we found out that we were pregnant. I'm going to get me another cupcake and I'm going to celebrate that. The day of the miscarriage, when it happened, I'm going to pray because I know that it's going to be a rough time for me. But I know that this baby, even though he's not earthside, he's still my baby. And I had the pleasure of carrying him for longer than I known, but he was still there, and I will be praying and just continue to ask God that, like, you give me the strength to get through this day because it will be a tough day. Um, but you're a mama, regardless if you have your baby earthside or not. And I just want you to celebrate you. For Mother's Day, I took myself out and I celebrated. And it was hard to see other women with their children, especially on social media and da da da. But I'm going to honor my angel baby, and I want other moms to do that as well because we are still moms.
And yes, indeed, you are.
Thank
Thank you so much for sharing for this conversation, for educating us, for being open enough to share your story.
you.
Y'all, if you have not already, make sure that you go get your ticket for the Healing Takes a Village Summit, where she is diving deeper into loving your diagnosis that you didn't ask for. So we'll see you then. Again, thank you. Have a wonderful morning, evening, night, wherever you are. And we'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.